Hi, folks. I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to another one of my top 3 political cartoon countdowns for March 30th, 2024. Today, we have the top 3 cartoons of the last couple of weeks, and as I always do, bring it to you. And before I get to that, I just want to introduce my newest book to you here, Richard's Best of 2024 Political Cartoons. There's the book, the cover. And if you want to visit my website, which you can see a bunch of sample cartoons there from the book, and it's in color for the first time, proud of that, you can go to my website, richardsbooksofpoliticalcartoons.com. And there you'll see a bunch of sample cartoons. There's the book. Okay, folks. Now, here, the countdown. Número 3 de los semanas. Aquí, here. Number 3 of the week. Now here we have Mitch McConnell, and we have China's President Xi Jinping, and here we have a Chinese aircraft carrier in the South China Sea here. Now this cartoon brings it all together, and I'll just read the introduction to you. Here, let's just take a good look at it. And the name of this aircraft carrier, the Chinese newest aircraft, they're building up their military, and this is their newest aircraft carrier, called Taiwan Mitch. Their newest aircraft after guess who? After he's retiring now, Senate Minority Leader now. He had been the Majority Leader for quite some time and very influential in the saga of what happened here with former President Trump and now President Trump, Republican nominee for president. So Mitch McConnell now is taking a very quiet role here, but he had originally, when this thing came up with January 6th, he had said, let the courts decide. We're not going to take any further action regarding the events that then President Trump was involved in then. And that's why we have the courts to decide. So the courts have not decided, really. We have this immunity case going before the Supreme Court now, which could throw the whole thing out to say that whatever Trump did on January 6th, he was immune because he was president of the United States. So it's taken weeks. It took them 2 months to schedule a case. It took them 2 weeks to decide to take the case. And it's like a delayed tactic here in a way, and more than in a way. And and so what's happening here is that Mitch McConnell, who said originally his rationale for not proceeding further with what happened on January 6th in terms of President Trump, with his basically allegedly instigating the riot there with his verbiage before the Capitol there. So it's all up for grabs now because President Trump is saying, whatever I did, and I did it for the country. I did it for the country. I believe the election was stolen, and I did it for the country. And if I didn't do it for the country, so what? I'm immune as president anyway, So with that in mind, I would say Mitch McConnell was very influential in what transpired from that point. And then he was the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell. Okay, so that's the stage here that I've set for you. Now here, I hate to read that, but I have to read this to make it, to hit the nail on the head here. China President Xi Jinping watching Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, given McConnell said Trump was morally and practically responsible for the January 6th Capitol attack, and Xi has said China's reunification with Taiwan is inevitable. So all this dilly-dallying with the Republicans and not supporting Ukraine, and Ukraine is withering there. Every day we hear their position is getting weaker and weaker, and we're talking about things that don't relate to that, and putting all kinds of conditions that have to be met before we can help them that involve our border, which is very important. No, that's very important. But this here is the world here. This is the world. You know, President Putin now today announced that he's going to raise the age to 30, and he's the biggest draft that he's ever had since the original start of the war. You know, up to 30, and now I'm surprised he didn't make it up to 60. Because, you know, you need cooks. A guy 60 years old could still cook, you know. I'm surprised he didn't take it, say, well, we got to get some cooks in there too, you know, and make it up to 60, if provided they can cook, you know. And that's probably coming next. Anyway, so that's the story there. And so here's the cartoon. Now, here's Mitch McConnell, and he's saying here, former President Trump has earned the requisite support because he's supporting him for the presidency because he has the nomination, and he said that originally, and Mitch McConnell's has reinforced his position from way back. He says, I'm supporting him if he's the nominee of the party. The party comes before the country. Without Republican Party, there is no country for me. So I got to support the party. The party is numero uno. You know, that's number one. So I don't see how anybody, you know, I mean, if that's your setting, he could have, if he would have said, well, look, I think President Trump is the best person to run this country, and this and that and all that. Well, then, even though he did do maybe a little on January 6th, he got a little out of hand, but he's still the best, you know. But he didn't. He's not saying that. He's saying he's the nominee. That's it. So that theoretically, anybody who becomes a nominee gets his support, you know. So anyway, enough said about that. I already said too much anyway. So here goes. Former President Trump has earned the requisite support of Republican voters to be our nominee for President of the United States. It should come as no surprise that as nominee, he will have my full support. And now here is Xi Jinping, President Xi Jinping of China. There he is. Zoom in on him. He's thumbs up on that. And he's saying, no surprise me, he will have my full support. And then he says, no surprise me have full. He's saying it should come as no surprise that I'm supporting President Trump for president, because he had said that before. That's Mitch McConnell. And now here President Xi is coming in and saying, no surprise, me either. No surprise, me have full support for new aircraft carrier to position for Taiwan reunification. We'll name Taiwan Mitch. And there we go. Here we go, sailing along Taiwan Mitch. There it is in the South China Sea with the planes and everything hitting, you know. There it is. And here it is. There's Mitch, thumbs up for President Trump. And President Xi Jinping, thumbs up for Mitch McConnell, who's thumbs up for President Trump. And there's the new ship, Taiwan Mitch in the South China Sea. And there's a China flag proudly flying there. Okay. This would have made a great musical cartoon, but I couldn't go there, you know. Anyway, here it is. There it is. Okay. That's it, folks. There goes the ship heading toward Taiwan. Okay. That was number 3. Number two here. This was a flashback, and I brought it back because it did so well, and I never showed it to you. It was really one of the top cartoons, so I brought it back. It never does as well as it does from the beginning, but it still ranks very high in terms of overall from the first time I showed it to this flashback. It's still number two. And here it is, Alvin Bragg here. That's the district attorney from Manhattan. Now President Trump former President Trump has been taking some shots at these judges, and he's gotten around now to taking shots at this Judge Merchan's daughter. You know, that's his MO. That's the way that's his way of, I guess you can call it some kind of way of retaliation that he feels that these judges were unfair to him. And his message today in his Easter address was he encompassed it sounded like he was encompassing all of the judges, the whole judiciary system. It sounded like an indictment of that from the way he spoke to me. Okay, to me, that's the way it sounded like. So you can imagine when when former President Trump is now President Trump again, who he's going to put on the if say somebody retires, say Judge Thomas starts to retire or somebody like that, you know, who he's going to pick for the Supreme Court and who he's going to pick to run the Justice Department and who he's going to pick to run the FBI and CIA. Boy, that's going to be something, you know. Okay. If I'm still around, I'll be making a lot of cards. Well, anyway, I ain't going to go there. Anyway, so here it is. Here's Bragg. Here's the Capitol. Got turned upside down here. Capitol. And here's Bragg. And there is the people here who are running these committees and doing all kinds of investigations now on President Biden, even though their star witness had to testify, I think, from jail. It don't matter to them, you know. What's that? They got some kind of other, something waiting in the wings. There's always something waiting in the wings to bring something new. And when it comes out, it turns out to be a dud, you know. And you know, that's just the way it's been going. But they still like to spend money and do their thing and screw and not work on the more important things than that. Let's put it that way. So here's Jim Jordan, you could see here. Okay. He's the most recognizable. Okay. So here we go. Okay, my battery's getting low, folks. All right. So here we go over there. Okay. And now for the cartoon. Okay. Hush money case flashback to when in March of 2023, Senator Rand Paul, Republican Kentucky, suggested that, quote, a Trump indictment would be a disgusting abuse of power. That was back in March of 2023 when Rand Paul said an indictment of Trump would be a disgusting abuse of power. The DA Alvin Bragg should be put in jail. That was a direct quote. Given Trump has attacked the daughter of the judge, which is current now, of the daughter of the judge in the above case, and DA Alvin Bragg has requested Judge Merchan, that's the judge, and his daughter Trump attacked, clarify whether the gag order applies to Trump's attacks against the judge's daughter. I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know how you could say gag order. He can't talk this, but if he says something about my daughter, we'll leave that out. I mean, it sounds very sloppy to me. If you're going to put together a gag order, and then former President Trump, now the nominee, starts going after the daughter of the judge, and you say, well, we didn't include that. It sounds a little sloppy to me to say that, you know. And if not, he asked the judge to include her and others the next time. So the next time former President Trump says something like this, he will be held accountable, you know. And then somebody says, I heard somebody say, well, then you know what we're going to do? We're going to put President Trump in the jailhouse for a little while, let him cool down. So that'd be the best thing you can do to put President Trump. Then he'd be like with a mugshot, remember? Then he'd be in jail, and he'd have all this stuff on, and he'd be making that would be all over the place, you know. He'd be saying like, you know, this is gonna, he'd be saying a lot. Let's put it that way. I don't want to go there yet. I hope that don't happen, really. But if it did, it might work to President Trump's advantage, because I wouldn't like to see a former president of the United States put in jail. I would rather him just follow along and let justice play out its logical course, and then decide what happens then. Not for him to go to jail for something like this. But if it happens, it happens. But it'll just put Trump way on top there, elevate him up, and everybody he'll be getting more and more. You know, that jailhouse. You know, he'll be playing Elvis's Jailhouse Rock. You know, and rocking away in the Jailhouse Rock to Elvis. He'd be doing all kinds of stuff. You know, so there you have it. Okay, Alvin Bragg and Jim Jordan. And this guy is the chairman of another committee investigating Biden. I forget his name I can't think of it off the hand. I'll think of it after this video is finished. I know that. Okay, so there it is. And there's our American flag flying over the Capitol. Okay. There's Bragg there. And the idea here is, the thing up here is that they all want him, all these committees want him, and they're after him, and they're saying all kinds of things about him, and they were saying he should have been died. Now, Paul wasn't the only one. A few other people, I don't know if these people said, but a few other people were very critical of him. And so I drew this wanted poster of Bragg up here. Wanted, it says here, wanted by 3 Republican House committees, Alvin the Dangerous. There's Alvin the Dangerous here. Give you a close-up of Alvin the Dangerous, his poster. Like in the post office, you see this? You see these around? They put up, when the people wanted, they put up these wanted, like in the Wild West, you know? They used to put up all these signs, wanted, dead or alive, and all these things. I'm not saying that here, but I'm using it as an example, you know? So they put up posters. So I just drew this poster to say that they wanted Alvin Bragg. Alvin the Dangerous. Okay. There. Okay, there he is. Okay. Now, the recent cartoon that hit #1 is here. We have John Eastman. If you remember John Eastman, the guy with the hat who stood in front of near the Capitol with President Trump on January 6th. He had on his midnight cowboy hat. You know, remember the guy? And he was standing in the cold weather there out there. You know, he looked like he was dressed up like it was in a snow blizzard from reporting from Alaska. You know, he was really dressed up with his hat and on. I don't remember if he had earmuffs. He might have had earmuffs. I don't remember. Okay, but anyway, he was dressed for the cold that day. You know, and so here we have. I'm going to read that to you here. And here's President Trump with the Bible that he's now trying to sell his Bible, which is the God Bless the USA Bible. For only $59.99, you get the Bible. Plus, he throws in a Constitution there. You get the Constitution. You know, there you go. You got it made. You get that Bible, and then you got your Constitution. You got it made. You got it made. And there is, you see, and that's John Eastman up here. Now, former President, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump reacts to his ex-attorney John Eastman defending himself against the recommendation of a California state bar court. This is out in California, a bar court now, bar court judge that he lose his law license only in that state. That for his role in Trump's legal effort to remain in power after losing the 2020 presidential election, e.g. having then Vice President Mike Pence unilaterally block or delay the certification of Joe Biden's victory. So what he wanted to do was he wanted a plan to substitute the electors that they appointed, or who wanted to change the election in those the borderline states, critical borderline states, to have new electors come in and substitute those electors, and we would hold, the whole proceeding would be held off until we resolved that, until the votes are taken, until everything was investigated. In the meantime, those votes would hold and just stop the whole thing and block the delay. So because of these electoral votes, so he wanted to manipulate the Electoral College and get Pence to and he was very persuasive with Pence. You know, like he was his boss as well as President Trump was his boss. You know, from what I've read, it sounded like that. So, and California's bar alleging that Eastman made false and misleading statements that constitute acts of, quote, moral turpitude. You know, so here we have that, and here's his defense. Here goes his defense, defending himself. Here he is, John Eastman, defending himself to that. You can read that. And he says, this case is all about targeting attorneys for their zealous advocacy on behalf of their clients. And it's all about these clients. It's not good to be, they're trying to say it's illegal to be very, very conscientious in defending your clients. This case is not about moral turpitude, okay? And then here goes former President Trump, and here he is with the Bible there. Let's just zoom in on the Bible. That's the God Bless the USA Bible here. There it is. Okay. God Bless USA Bible. Thumbs up. And President Trump, former President Trump, is saying this bar court needs some moral turpentide, you know, to clean it up. Like Tide, remember Tide? Everybody knows about Tide. So this is needs moral turpentide to wash away the witch hunters who targeted John Eastman to get Trump, meaning me. They need this God Bless the USA Bible in their homes, along with a copy of the Constitution that comes with it, all just for $59.99. There it is again. There it is. It's $59.99. You get your Bible and you get your Constitution. All right, folks. I want to thank you very much for watching my political cartoon countdown video. And I'll say God bless you, God bless America, and a prayer for all the things that are going on now with Gaza. And now it seems like Israel is determined to attack the city of Rafah. And I would hope, if nobody disagrees, that they have to deal with Hamas for this. But on the other hand, all the innocent people, and if they're going to do it, we have to pray that they do it in a strategic way, and they get the people out of there. They originally told them to go there. There it goes. So anyway, my battery's is gonna go dead any second now. So a prayer for those people, and a prayer for the Palestinians there who've suffered so much. And like I said before, they can't walk in their streets and everything else. And again, this was Easter Sunday, and the Pope said, the Pope came out very well today. I listened to him, and I heard him say that all the things he said, and he's laid down the groundwork for prayer for all these conflicts, and with conflict with Russia over Ukraine. He came up with suggestions about that and prayers for peace in that area. And I hope that the only way to get peace, and they say peace. If you want, I remember reading about a father who was in the World War II. He said, hold the Bible, pass the ammunition, and let's pray and pass the ammunition. Because it's ammunition that the Ukrainians need, and that's that's God's help in a way, you know. So I pray that happens. And they say they're going to vote for it. Well, who knows? But I pray for that, and I pray for the peace of mankind, that someday we can live in a peaceful world. And I'll say, and a united country. God bless you. God bless America. And I'll see you next time, folks. Take care. Bye.